As you're thinking about the across your portfolio, across the market, and prospects for investments in renewable energies, alternative energy technologies, how are you thinking about this differently now than you were a couple of years ago? And how far off will cheap natural gas push commercial scale penetration into alternative energy technologies?
So Dr. Deutsch raises a great question, and of course implication of low prices means people buy more of the product in simple supply and demand terms. And low natural gas prices sitting here today, it looks like you can define low however you sort of wish. It looks like they're going to be low in a fashion that makes power generated by gas quite efficient for a long time to come. And natural gas is really the relevant product here, right? We don't use oil in this country to generate electricity, so this is really a natural gas topic. We've now had a number of years of low natural gas prices, so we actually have more data to look at in terms of the implications. So the first wave, of course, has been substitution of natural gas for coal. And that, I think, is a very favorable substitution, and there's debate to be had on that subject, but I think net done properly, and this implicates some of these policy questions, natural gas substitution for coal is a clear environmental winner. That being said, you asked, of course, the question about implications for renewables, and I think there's a couple of thoughts I'd share. First off, we actively invest in renewables, and we actively invest in hydrocarbon production. So we're sort of in the all of the above category as a matter of investment. And we quite like investing in the renewables business. But renewables, by and large, work really under regulatory mandate. That is to say that it's difficult for renewables to be competitive, in part and in large part because of the low cost of alternative supply, but also because of some of the intermittent issues associated with wind power. Wind tends to blow at night, which is the time you least need power. Solar, in many regards, more promising, and we have seen a rather rapid recent expansion in solar. It's an on-peak resource. It's available during the hottest part of the middle of the day when you most need it. So I think it's actually sort of an interesting question, which is if we're counting on the market absent a price for carbon or absent a policy framework that requires a substitution, then the low natural gas prices are certainly pushing out the adoption of renewables. I think there's a little question. However, there is a however to it, which is the low cost of generating power using natural gas in a low gas price environment means that the consumer's electricity bill in total is coming down quite meaningfully. So if we then think about it from a policymaker's point of view, should the policy directive be, take California, where you have very high renewable portfolio standards. So if you actually want to mandate the use, or if you were to price, if you will, other consequences of using carbon-based fuels, in an interesting way, there's more degrees of freedom for policymakers. Because if the majority of a consumer's bill, and in every instance the majority of the consumer's bill is coming from traditional fuel sources, if the majority of their bill is coming down because of this decline in the price of natural gas and coal, and this minority portion, even if growing, but minority portion generated from renewable resources is going up, even if that's going up meaningfully, the relative share is such that the decline because of what I'm paying for what I've historically bought in gas and coal-fired generation will more than offset the increase by mandating the use of more renewables. So, long way of saying that there's actually an interesting trade to be made should policymakers want to make it, which is to basically say, I'll make your bill lower even though I'm going to actually increase the share that renewables are as a portion of what you buy.